Hello. 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 Oh, all right. It's working. All right. How you doing, guys? All right. Good. The sound's working tonight. Let's see if it works tonight. Let's see. Tomorrow 9 o'clock, we're going to be trading, guys, live again. I'm still holding those NAS buys from this morning. All right. I'm expecting them to win this evening. And yeah, we'll be on tomorrow at 9. We'll be on tomorrow night for the final Sosana update for the week. All right, guys, we're up. We got 3 wins this week on crypto. We're up 155 pips on crypto, on Forex. So, guys, we're just going to chill out here. These guys will be here in a minute. They always come right on time. You guys, sign up for Sosana. The link is in the chat. Okay, I can't see the chat once the stream starts. And grab the crypto debit card, guys. You're going to need it with Sosana. All right, it's very low fees. No KYC, most importantly, no KYC. Guys, very important. And if you want to invest in real estate, guys, there's a group that I belong to. It's not my group, but it's a great group. I bought one house with them already. I never saw the house. It's in a state I've never been to. They handle everything. They have boots on the ground. It's just a great group, man. Check it out. Check out the link. It's in the description too. They're having a 3-day workshop. They're gonna walk you through everything they do, man. So that's the deal, guys. I'll be waiting. This is gonna start in a minute. I'm just gonna chill out and see what the updates are tonight, man. I hope we got good news tonight. Hopefully, we're almost ready to launch. I know we're almost ready, but hopefully it'll be maybe Monday. I'm hoping by Monday. You know, can't see that in glasses. You know, my house glasses. Yeah. Oh, better. Yeah, so that's the deal, guys. All right, I'll see you tomorrow, guys, on the trading stream at 9 a.m.
Thursday AMA. Today is
Cheers,
Wednesday.
Guys.
My name is Brian Laws. Excited to be here. As you guys are popping in, I'm sure some of you are already doing it. You know the drill. Please go into the Telegram group and announce who you are and where you're from. Let everyone else know exactly what we have going on here. We got people from all over the world. I think it's one of the coolest things to be able to pop in here and see that. So come on in, guys. Good to see you. Good to see you. Hey, Houston. Hey, SoCal. As you're doing that, Keith Lacey and the professor, if you're on already, please raise your hand so to bring it to the top of my screen. I'd appreciate that. But once again, for those of you that are just popping in, guys, West Texas, what's up? Brazil, love it. Florida, good to see you. Good to see you. Come on in, guys. We're going to get started here in just about a couple of minutes. So here we go. Professor, are you unmuted, sir?
I think I just unmuted. Can you hear me?
You are unmuted. And then do me a favor here in a second. If you'd like to share your screen, that would be awesome.
Oh, okay. My mistake. There we go.
Very good. Very good. Very good. Awesome. Good.
I hope you guys can hear
Keith,
me.
buddy.
Sir, if you're on, definitely pop in, raise your hand, and bring it to the top of my screen. That would be great. Then I'll know that you're there. Santa Clara, California, welcome. Dallas, Texas, welcome. Welcome, guys. We're going to get started here. We're going to give it maybe a minute or two. Then I'll start the recording and we will get started. I want to go over some key things with you guys here. Going to be a good call. And we've got some exciting stuff happening. But, you know, we were talking about just kind of getting ready. And Professor, I mean, you know, I'm going to talk a little bit about a couple things, man. And then I'm going to ask you to maybe even share as a person like yourself with, you know, who's used to building big teams, leading people, not just being involved, but, you know, kind of leading and building big groups. What is a guy like you, man, doing to get your team ready right now? You know, what are you prepping them for? That kind of stuff. So I'm just giving you a little preview so you won't be completely shocked. When I ask you later, and again, I can't see. There's enough people on here that I can't pop through them all. So Keith Lacey, if you are on, and I'll call you out again if you're not yet. Just kind of raise your hand. It'll bring you to the top of my screen. Then I'll know that you're there, and I will open. There you go, Keith Lacey. Okay.
Hey, brother, I don't see a hand to raise, but anyway.
That's all right. Keith, you want to share? Would you like to share your video as well?
Yeah, there we go. Got it.
Awesome, man. Appreciate you. And I was just telling the professor that I think what we're going to do on this call, there's a couple things we want to talk about. But as we are literally right there at the precipice of rolling this out, I know a lot of the leaders are spending some time getting their teams kind of ready, what they should be doing at this moment in time, to be prepared. So it's not like we roll out and then you're trying to figure out what to do, which is, I know what a lot of people tend to do. And it's probably not, probably by far not the best strategy for being successful. It's the people who are kind of getting ahead of that, where I think they're going to have the most amount of success. So I want you guys to maybe give some people some pointers on that as well. But with that said, man, I want to talk to you guys. It was interesting. Let me see. Yeah, well, let me start the recording here, by the way.
Recording in progress.
All right, guys, welcome to the webinar. Very excited to have the opportunity to kind of share with everyone about what's been happening here with Sosana. While we're so excited, all the incredible things that are happening. And I know for those of you, which is probably most of you that were on the webinar yesterday, we ended off where it was funny. Mark had said, "Hey, man, what are those 3 pillars again?" And I thought that was funny because we spend a lot of time, we talk about some of the things. Mark and I got on the phone one time and we were talking about some of the things that we felt people needed to be zeroed in on if they wanted to have a real chance to be good at how they interact with the voting mechanism. Because I've talked to a lot of people and I've heard some different things. And and some people are like, "Man, I'm just going all in, man. I've been saving up. I'm going to get a second mortgage on my house. And I'm like, whoa, time out. Anybody who knows me, that I am often, not often, I am always more cautious with other people's money than I am with my money. I do some things. I have a high risk tolerance, which I credit for, my ability to be able to accomplish some things in my life. But that's with my own money. I'm like I'm a penny pincher with everyone else's money. You know what I mean? I hate to see people lose money. I hate to see people get hurt. So when I heard some of these things, I said, Mark, we should talk to the community just a little bit about some of the things they might really want to look for, when they're going out there and they're deciding, is this a project where I believe I could, and again, you guys know the attorney probably on, so I always got to say, potentially, probably, maybe, we can't make guarantees, but ultimately, is this a project where I believe that we could get a big movement on the token price, in that magic hour between 7 and 8 o'clock, right? And I told Mark, I said, there's 3 things I think, and he didn't say we're going to call those the 3 pillars, right? But I said there's these 3 things I think I would look at if I was involved in this process, that I would look at to make a true determination of what do I think is probably going to happen. And here's what those 3 things were. Mark kind of asked me yesterday, he's like, the 3 pillars. And afterwards I was like, pillars? He's like, the 3 things. I said, you should have said the 3 things. I would have known exactly what you're talking about. But right. But so I wanted to make sure I brought that to the call today, because I know we constantly have new people that are joining us. So number one is the size of the DGen voter wealth, right? And this is going to all be information that you guys are going to have. Right, so you'll know before by 7 o'clock when we roll out and say, here's the token that won. Token XYZ is the token that won. You will know what the size of the DGen voter wallet is. Why is that important? Right, because obviously the bigger the wallet is, right, the bigger the purchase that we're going to make of those tokens, and in 1 hour at 8 o'clock. And the bigger the purchase, the more chance that it can move a price, which is what we're looking for, right? Positive price pressure That's going to happen at the top of that hour. The other thing is, the bigger the wallet is and the bigger people know the purchase is going to be, psychologically, the more people are excited about what they're going to do and what they're going to buy in between that 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock hour, right? So if we said, hey, the DGen voter wallet is $10, nobody's buying anything, right? Everybody's that's it, that's done. We'll wait for another 2 weeks, right? But if we said it was $10 million, right? You're not only buying, you're calling your friends and your grandma, and you're saying, real quick, sign up as an affiliate, buy some Sosana tokens and get it. You're gonna be crazy, right? So it's the bigger the purchase, also the bigger the psychological impact. So number one is the size of the DGen voter wallet. This is what I'm just giving you guys the three pillars, if you will, as Mark says, that I would look at to say, okay, this is going to be my determinant factor on how aggressive I want to be during that hour. Number two is the size of the community, right? You guys understand that as the community gets bigger, as we see more and more, wallet holders and more people participating in the votes, that means in that hour, between 7 and 8 o'clock, you've got more and more people who can come on board in that hour and put in positive price pressure, right? If we've got 1,000 people, all coming in and buying $100 worth of a token in an hour, that's $100,000 worth of purchases in an hour. That could be very significant. But if we've got 10,000 people, right, doing it, that's $1 million in an hour, right? That's going to be and probably going to be much more significant. So these are those two things I'm going to be looking at if I'm you on every vote. Okay, how big is the DGen voter wallet? How big is the community size, et cetera, right? And then finally, and this is a big factor, guys, is the market cap / liquidity pool of that particular winning token. Now, here's what I would do if I were you.
This is
right?
important,
If I were
guys.
you, I'm trying to give you guys some advantage here. Some people probably already thought of this, right? No, don't tell them, make them wait, right? Give me some advantage. I'm going to give you an advantage. One of the things I would do is when we reveal the 25 tokens on that Saturday and you get to see them and then you start doing your research and you look, you should go through all 25 of the tokens, right? And you should already know in your data, I would have it on a sheet right in front of me, all 25 of the tokens and what my red flags were and my green lights were. And as I'm trying to decide which one I was going to vote for, I can't vote. So when I say I, it's the collective I, just in case, again, the attorney's watching. I know I can't vote. I will not be voting. Okay. But if I were you, I would say have it all laid out. And two of the things you need to have down for every single token is what is the market cap of this token and what is the liquidity pool size of this token. Here's why. If you have a token that wins that has like a $2 million market cap and it has a liquidity pool of about, $60,000 or $70,000 or $80,000, and you know that our DGen voter bonus is 40,000, which means it's half of the size of their entire liquidity pool. And you also know that our community has 2,000 people in it, and you just assign an average in your mind of, hey, maybe everybody's going to go in for at least $100, knowing some people are going to go in for thousands, right? And some other people might go in for 40 or 50, and some other people might not participate. Then you could say, how much do I think $200,000 in 1 hour going into a small cap token with $40,000, with $80,000 in the liquidity pool, and plus a $40,000 purchase at the top of the hour, how much do I think that is going to impact the price of that token? I will tell you guys, no surprise. The answer is, in all likelihood, tremendously, right? So with that knowledge, saying, okay, I know how size DGen the voter pool, I know the size of the community, right? And now I already know in advance, I got every token. So the moment they say which one won, I circle that one, and the other ones are just blocked out, right? If it's an actual token that I voted for, you take a microsecond to say, yay, me, and that's it, right? And then you get to business because now you've got the data. I got the DGen voter bonus. I know that's 40,000. I know there's 2,000 people in the community, and I know that the token that just won, it has a market cap of a couple of million, and it only has a liquidity pool size of 80,000, and we're probably about to pour $250,000 into this token over the next hour. Yeah, I'm going on that one. Do you understand that? You guys understand what I mean, right? That's where you might think to yourself, I want to be a little
That coin's going to pump.
Now on the other side, let's say the DGen voter bonus, once again, 40,000. Let's say there's 2,000 people in the community, but the token that wins is a token with a $50 million market cap, and $9 million or $10 million in the liquidity pool already, and you still are using the same math. We're probably going to put $250,000 into this token over the next 1 hour. Is that going to move the needle on that token? Yeah, it can move the needle a little, right? It can move the needle, right? But is it going to be as explosive as option A that I just gave you? Of course not. Of course not. So if you understand that, that should inform upon you what your particular strategy is, right? I'm trying to get you guys to move into a data analysis mode and out of the just straight up gambling mode that I see in crypto all the time. Throw my money down. Maybe this is me, and then it's like, oh, I lost all my money. Yeah, not a good strategy. Not a good, you know what I mean? Not a good strategy. Luck is not a business plan. Luck is luck. That's all it is, right? But I'm saying if you're trying to develop a business strategy, you should have those three things in your mind, those three pillars: size of the DGen voter wallet, which you'll know; size of the community, which you'll know; and then you do your research on every token before you vote. I hope you guys aren't just saying, "I'll pick token number 4. It looks cool." That's not the purpose of this. It's you taking the time to study, to do your research. Say, I believe that this is the token. If everybody in the community does their research, I believe that this is the one that has the most positive attributes. The smart people are going to pick this one. I'm going to pick this one because I want to win, right? And that's how you're supposed to be going about this. So hopefully that helps you guys. The only other thing I want to talk about, and then I'm going to turn it over to our incredible field leadership here, is we talked a little bit about red flags and green lights. And I know some people have still said, well, because I've got people right now already calling me up, like, hey man, I know as soon as we come online, I want to start nominating. So I think I found a cool token. Can you take a look at it for me and let me know what I've had a bunch of those calls. For those of you calling me, I'm not making fun of you. I love you guys, but I'm getting a lot of those calls. So, I would like to do some other things during the day, like, sleep, kind of thing. So staring at totally, my eyes are bleeding. But red flags versus green lights, right? So some of the things I would suggest you look at when you're looking at a token, right? Number one is, do you know who the dev team is? Are they anonymous? Or are they like us? Where they're self-doxed. You can go, you can see exactly who they are. They're not hiding. They don't have up AI photos and fake names and all that kind of stuff. It's like you can connect with these people. You see who they are. You know who they are. That's number one. If they are, that's a plus, right? If they're not, that's a red flag. Doesn't mean it's a horrible token, right? Because it has a red flag. I'm just saying, as you're rating and you're looking, that's one of the things you want to look at. If you do know who the dev team is, what's their track record, right? I mean, that'd be a good thing to know, right? I mean, maybe these guys, this is the third token they've launched, and the previous two token projects they launched all started off at a fraction of a penny, and now they're all trading at $25 or so. I would be excited about that, right? I'd say, wow, these guys have a great track record. They know what they're doing. They bring some quality projects to the table. So what is the track record? Does the token have some type of utility, right? Or is it just a meme token? Again, not saying meme tokens can't be explosive and incredible. Many of them are. Many of them are not, right? It just depends on how they're embraced by a community. But if it has a utility, and it's going to do something that's going to be really substantially important in the crypto space. It's going to solve payment issues for crypto. It's going to do this. It's going to make it's going to make Ethereum move faster and be cheaper, which would be cool, right? It's going to, then these are some things you can say, wow, that's something that people are going to be really excited about. That's something that a lot of people are going to want to put money in, because that's going to be a development of a project. What's the liquidity and the market cap? These are data points. I want to know about everything, right? I want to know about the market cap. I want to know about the liquidity, and then, do they have social media channels? The reason why that's important is because if they have social media channels, you can go check those social media channels, and you can see if they have an engaged community. You can see if you go to their social media channels and there's 5 people in them, right? It's like, that's not good, right? There's 5 people in there, and they're never saying anything, which means most of the tokens are probably being held, by 1 or 2 people. And if they see the price pumping up, they're probably going to be the one who dumps. So they're like, oh my God, I never thought I was going to be able to get rid of this garbage. Now, all of a sudden, for some reason, the price shot up. Let me dump it, right? So these are some of the things. Those aren't the only things, right? But just some of the things that you should look at. And I'm trying to not just give you guys information, give you perspective, a way to think is all I'm saying, right? Is that when you're evaluating the token, look for the things that are very often the red flags to say, okay, because remember, most token projects fail, right? Now I'm going to tell you guys something even worse. Not only do most token projects fail, many token projects are launched with the intention of failing. Now, isn't that devious, right? That's one of the reasons why we're excited about Sosana, because we want to change the game, right? We want to make it a point, where people will look at a project and before they even buy the token, they're going to say, let me go see what they're saying about it on Sosana's Better Token Bureau. Oh my God, look who's behind it. These guys are crooks. You know what I mean? Or look at all these red flags they have. You know what I mean? They haven't, the liquidity pool's not locked. This isn't done. All these types of things, right? You know what I mean? Now, I'll tell you guys what's cool is for every token that we nominate, right? The way that it's set up in our system is it's all their data is going to feed off a DEX screener into a page on the site. So you won't even have to leave Sosana's site to do your research. Once you're locked into it and you see the 25 tokens, you'll be able to go and look at the different pages for each. It'll have the live API feed, so you'll be able to see, is the liquidity pool, if the liquidity pool's there, how much is in there, is it locked, right? You'll be able to see, what the market capitalization is. You'll be able to see a lot of that information to get you started in your research, so that you can start figuring out some data points for you to say, you know what, I don't like. You can start Xing off tokens. Definitely not picking 1, 2, 3, 10, 12, 20. Definitely not picking those, and narrow it down to the ones that you think all look good, and then kind of get them side by side and make a decision. I know some of you were thinking like, man, I didn't think it was going to be that much work or that complicated. It should be. It should be. My hope is that in about 3 or 4 months from now, the people who are nominating the tokens here are so good at spotting red flags and all this kind of stuff, that the 25 nominations, when you see those 25 nominations, you're going to want to pull your hair out, because you're going to say, how am I supposed to pick between these 25 superb selections, to figure out which one is the right one? That's when we're getting there, because now, between going through the crucible of the nominators and then going through the additional crucible of the voting of the voters in Sosana, we will produce some projects on the other end that, in our opinion, have a very high likelihood of being successful. Can't make guarantees, but the type of things you want to maybe start stuffing into your portfolio, which is the ultimate goal here, guys. The DGen voter bonus is cool and fun, and we hope it becomes a way that people can actually drive some income, every couple of weeks. But the ultimate goal is to be able to, clear out all the noise, look through the fog, turn on the lights, and find some real solid projects that you can put into your portfolio, and you can actually hold them for a while and watch them grow, have some strong percentage growth, so you guys can actually start becoming financially successful, potentially even wealthy here in the crypto space. So I hope those two things help. I hope those help. The 3 pillars that you should be looking for, and all of a sudden some of the red flags versus green lights that you should be looking for. And with that said, now I want to turn it over to my 2 esteemed colleagues here to talk about what they are doing to get their teams ready right now, as we're kind of sitting right here again at the precipice of launching the affiliate platform and the voting mechanism. You guys have any preference as to who goes first?
I don't.
It don't matter to me. T. Lamont, go ahead and shoot, buddy.
Rock and roll, Team Lamont.
All right. Good day, beautiful people. Trust that everyone's having an amazing day. So I can just tell you, Keith, what I'll be doing, and then perhaps if you don't have a large team, but you got some folks, some things for you to consider. So tomorrow I've got an email that's going out to those in my email list, and we're going to actually have a Sosana conversation either the weekend or the first part of the week. We need what's important, Keith, obviously, because a lot of people have been in wait and see. All right, I believe in Sosana. I believe he's going to do what they said they're going to do, but we've just been waiting to get this piece launched. All right. So one thing we've got to do, or one thing that I feel the need to do, is to reconnect and share the vision again. One of my mentors in this industry used to always say that the purpose of the meeting is to first reshare the vision, stretch the vision of the existing people. Okay. And then thereafter, all right, stretch the vision of those folks who are looking at you for the first time. But people have already made a choice to become part of Sosana. They already bought the Sosana token. Many of them have already pre-registered. All right, so they bought into what we were talking about with Sosana. But maybe they're off doing other things, or life got in the way, or what have you. So we need to re-engage them and stoke that fire out there. So I've got an email that's going to be going out tomorrow. We're going to be doing a Zoom with our existing Sosaniacs. All right, making sure that everybody's aware. We're almost there. We're just about there. Hey, let's make sure that everybody has at least $50 for the voting, $99 to be able to purchase your membership, and we've got to account for price fluctuation. We don't know what the price is going to be. As a matter of fact, some people, maybe they get started with $50 for the voting, $100 for the membership, $99 for the membership, and depending on where they bought the token, maybe it's up, maybe it's down. So those are things we need to just remind people. And then maybe you don't have a big team. All right, so maybe you're not the Zoom person, but you go and you look at who you do have. Who have you connected with? Who have you referred? All right, and so even if you have to do some onesies, even if you have to, however you communicate with folks. I typically communicate via my email list and via my Telegram channel. So that's how I'm going to communicate with folks. Bring as many of them on as possible. Record that content. Get that out. All right, and charge our leaders to, hey, make sure you're getting this information out to your folks. Again, if you don't have a large group like that, then at least be responsible for the person that that you referred, and then have them to be responsible for who they referred, and so on. And if you're part of a leadership group, you're on Keith Lacey's team, you're on Tyron's from Tobago's team, you're on Queen Alexander, you're on her team, then make sure you're connecting to your leaders. If they tend to be the ones that do Zooms or communicate with the folks, and maybe you're not the communicator, then connect with your leadership, and I'm sure they're going to do everything they can to help you out, because in helping you and helping them, they help themselves. That's what I do.
Yeah, that's good information, man, and I appreciate you saying that. Whether or not you have the big giant team, or you just referred one person, you know what I mean? It's important, right? That you're not referring a person and then you're just kind of leaving them to figure out on their own and leaving them alone. That's not a real good example of leadership, but it's also cutting off your nose to spite your face. I mean, because you're taking away any leveraging point or a leveraging opportunity that you have if you're not making sure that your people, even if it's just one person, properly informed, know what's going on. They're aware of what to do. Hey, the 48 hours is going to be from Monday at 7:00 p.m. to Wednesday at 7:00 p.m. They know that, right? They know what they need to do. Go hook up their wallet, pick a packet, just and then tell them, hey, call me after you're done, just so I know you're ready to go. And you can go in your back office, see if the commission came through, so they did it right, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of that individual stuff you want to do. And then obviously you have a big team, you just start projecting a little bit better. But good stuff, man. My mentor also told me the same thing, that just because somebody signed up doesn't mean you're done recruiting, and you have to continuously reinvigorate them with the vision. And you're not really done recruiting them until they're having success. Once they're having success, they're good. They get it. They don't need to be convinced because they're getting it already, and then they can go and they can duplicate. So very, very good stuff. So, Mr. Lacey, floor is yours.
Okay. Well, Brian, I appreciate you, brother. You always do a fantastic job, and you always keep me fired up. That's for sure. I've got a lot of your clips that I share with people on a regular basis, and so I'll get into some of the things that I do here. But yeah, I ditto what T. Lamont said. What a great leader T. Lamont is as well. Such a great example in this industry. And known T. Lamont now about 13 years, I believe it has been. So T. Lamont, we're getting old, brother. Boy, we better hurry up and do something, right? Hurry up, do something, and get somewhere, right? Oh, but I would like to say that I'm going to share some things here, and we've made a few $1 million in this industry, and it doesn't come by accident. You gotta have a work ethic that's superb. If you want to, you got to match. In other words, you're going to earn the effort you put into it. You can't come in here with a 50-cent work ethic and have $1 million bank account. It doesn't work like that, right, T. Lamont?
Right.
It just doesn't. So, and riding off of some of the things that T. Lamont said, as far as building the leaders, I'll talk about 4 different points of things that I literally do that is so basic. Just things I've learned. I've been an entrepreneur for 37 years now, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to do these things. It just takes willingness. And the first thing that you got to do to be successful, the very first thing is you've got to start, and T. Lamont hit on this a little bit as well, you got to build your belief. You got to build a fire. You got to build your fire about what you have your hands on. If you don't watch the videos, if you don't read materials that we send out, if you don't read through the website, I'd love to see it. I'm not going to ask everybody on the call to put in Telegram if you've watched or if you've read the website. But here's a question for you. Have you read the Sosana.io website from cover to cover? If you haven't, you're not very serious about earning money. I've read it several times from cover to cover. And it really tells a beautiful story. It tells the entire story of what Sosana is all about. And so what that does is when you read and you watch these videos from Mark and Brian and T. Lamont, these great leaders, it builds belief. And I tell people all the time, and a lot of people think I'm crazy. And I watch videos over and over sometimes just to feel myself again, just to get excited again. Yeah. I can't tell you how many times I've watched that short little 2-minute video the video of Mark, the cartoon video of Mark.
Yeah.
Lil Mark. Yeah.
Right. I've watched the Zooms over. I see T. Lamont. He gets me all fired up again. And so I watch Brian Lyles on these Zooms, and I watch him, and it gets me excited. So that's the first step. If you can't get yourself believing, you're never going to go anywhere. You're going to be dead right there on step 1. Step 2 is once you believe, you got to have something to shoot at. You got to have a target. No one gets their gun out if they're not going to take it outside and shoot at something. You got to say, well, you know what? I'm going to shoot at the dove flying over me. I want to have some supper tonight, or I want to shoot at a target. I want to shoot at something. You got to have something. So in other words, you got to have something to shoot at. So what you got to do is you got to make a list. Who are you going to contact once your belief is built, once your fire is built? Who are you going to contact? So you've got to make that list. Now, some people say a list that is old-fashioned, and you don't have to do that. I've seen some people talk, that's crazy to make a list. Well, it's worked for me, and it's old school, and it's my target. You have to have a group of people that you want to contact. Now, I heard it said years ago, the guy says, take out your phone. I want you to look at your phone and go down and look at the contacts. I want you to see how many contacts you got. And you look at that phone and say, wow, I've got like 1,300 contacts on my phone. Because a lot of people say, well, I don't have anybody to contact. I don't really know anybody to share Sosana with. But you do. Look at your Facebook. Your Facebook contacts, many of them are different from your phone contacts. There again, Telegram. Look at your Telegram. Many of your Telegram contacts will be different than your Facebook and your phone contacts. And you've got all these people that you've been communicating with through the years that may or may not like a side hustle, an opportunity. So a lot of these people may have a full-time job, but guess what? Everybody I know loves some good passive, solid income, and we have that passive opportunity here with not only with Sosana, the potential of Sosana going up, but we also going to have passive opportunity every 2 weeks when we are able to buy into that new token that is nominated. Whether we win the vote or whether we don't win the vote, we still are going to have the opportunity to either go buy more if we win the vote, or just go over and just simply buy some. If you didn't win the vote, just go. You have that opportunity to take that contract address over to your Phantom wallet. Do the same process you did when you bought Sosana tokens. You take the winning tokens contract address, you put it in, you do the exact same process as you did with Sosana. The third step is once you get your list, you got to do something with it. And I heard a gentleman say this years and years ago as well. He says, fill the hopper and do not worry about the outcome at the bottom. He says, you just fill the hopper at the top. You're going to pour these people. You're going to contact these people. And I'm old school. I don't even have a automated texting system, email system. Tieleman, I bet you got an email system where you put an email in it and you send it out to multiple people at once. Do you have something like that?
Yes, it goes out to thousands. Yes.
There you go, thousands of people. Well, you're looking at the guy that does one text at a time, one phone call at a time, one message, one voice message at a time. And it works though. So we've made a lot of money in this industry by doing that. And so
got me here.
Yeah,
Should
that's
be a
right.
text.
That's right. That was you thought I blasted out a big group text and you was just on it, right? No, man, I care about you one-on-one, Tieleman. Personally, brother, I wanted to text you, but anyway. So so what happens though is your only job is to fill the hopper, and so there's going to be people that'll say no. At the bottom, when they come out, you'll see them. They'll say, no, I'm not interested, not interested. Some people is going to say, yes, send me more information. I like what I hear. In your little brief, and you want to make it brief, and that's a whole nother subject for another time. I'd like to start doing some prepping for the launch of the affiliate program. I'd like to do some trainings here, people who want to jump on, and we'll talk about it specifically what I send people and how I do it. But let's get back to the no. Some will say yes, and some will actually join you at a later date, but you don't know if those people are going to join you. That's why it's so important to do number 4, and that is just to be persistent. And I've had people tell me, so many people through the years, they've told me that, man, you are the most persistent person I have ever known. I'll bet you a lot of those people I got on their nerves by posting. But if they haven't told me, hit the road, Jack, I'm still going to be messaging them little small messages once every week, once every few days. It depends on who they are, whether I do it once a week or once a month or once every day. If I know somebody's really in this industry and they said something on the first message and I knew they were pretty interested, I'm gonna keep hitting them up with just little things that are good. And again, we'll save those things for another time. But that's the four biggies right there of just building a business and creating a phenomenal income through the Sosana 3-level affiliate platform that we're going to have, and it's going to be phenomenal. I had a lot of people tell me I was involved about 3 years ago in a project. It was a trading platform, but the traders were fantastic. The owners of the platform were fantastic, and the only problem is what broke about a year later was the brokerage. The owner of the brokerage broke and ran off to Russia, and they caught him. But here's what I want to tell you. When I first started out, I contacted some huge leaders, people like T. Lamont. I don't think I contacted you on this, T. Lamont. I'm not sure if I did or didn't. But I'm just saying, I contacted some huge leaders and told them that what we had a trader here that was doing this much. They had a comp plan, was a 2-level affiliate program, 2 levels. Now you got to realize a lot of these big leaders, they like big comp plans with 10 and 15 levels, because they know they can grab a lot of people because they work. And so I shared with people that this was going to be massive. This was going to be massive. And sure enough, 9 months later, we did well over $500,000 in that 9th month after getting started, just for the month, on a 2-level. And what catapulted this income was the 2-level affiliate program. So never underestimate and sell yourself short on what some people say. Wow, that's just a 3-level affiliate program. How much money can you really make? Well, I'm going to tell you, we're going to make, or whoever wants to work this program is going to make so much stinking money on a 3-level affiliate program, because that's not money now. Remember, our plan and our goal is to create something in Sosana that's a token that keeps climbing and climbing. We're going to have all these thousands and tens of thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people, wait and see, that are going to be joining our community. And guess what? They all have to join our community.
Coin.
They have to buy Sosana. And then that's like, so I think you said it earlier, Brian, that doesn't even include what they're going to want to buy just to buy some of the token. That's just the necessity to join the affiliate program. What is it, like $249?
$249. Yep.
$249. They're going to come out of pocket with $249 so fast it's going to blind them, because they're going to be so excited at what they see here with Sosana. And so can you imagine, T. Lamont, you're good with math. There's going to be a day where we have 10,000 people join in a single day, join Sosana, and it's going to be after the 48-hour period. So they're all going to be joining for $249. What is that number right there? 10,000 times 249. I should be better at math, but I'm not.
2.49 million.
2.4. Do you guys know what that will do for the chart? On that day, when people have to come in and buy $249 worth of Sosana because they want to join and become a member to receive all the benefits that Brian Lyles and Mark Lyles keeps talking to us about. It's going to be massive. It's going to be massive. So don't sell yourself short. Those are the 4 things. And back to you, Brian. I'll pass it back to you, brother.
Man, that's awesome. And listen, if you guys don't mind, let me do a quick time check here. I just want to borrow you for 5 more minutes, right? And because I want to say that, so everybody understands, and I know you guys probably have similar stories, but I have spent a lot of money on training and personal development and going to events. You know what I mean? I didn't come up. I didn't come up in the webinar age, right? You know what I mean? This is relatively new for the industry from the perspective of when I got started in it, a few decades ago. And therefore, it was, if I wanted to hear what a T. Lamont was saying, if I want to have a one-on-one chance to ask him some questions, or to Keith Lacey's, I had to hop on a plane and fly to an event and then hang out in the lobby and hope that, you know, one of these titans, you know what I mean, would make some time for me, you know what I mean, go over, offer to buy him a drink or something, right? Just to, you know, so I could, you know, cozy up to him, get a picture with him, you know, so I could tell people I met these guys. I was talking to him. This is my buddy, you know, and ask just a couple of questions. So what I want to say, man, is if for the next just 5 minutes, just a few, like if any of you guys have a few questions or a couple of questions that you think are real relevant that the team would benefit from as well, right? So if you want to ask that question in Telegram, go right ahead, and we'll see what these guys say. So let me read this first question. When these all in that hour window, how big of an impact will that have on the price of Sosana? Right. Well, that's a great question, but keep in mind, I think it's Cayenne. Keep in mind that when they buy that winning token, they're buying that token with Solana, not with Sosana, right? So because all the tokens that we're picking in the beginning that are being nominated and voted upon, they're all on the Solana network. So just like you purchased Solana token to be able to get Sosana, right? You had to swap your Solana for Sosana. It would be the same thing. So you'll have some Solana at the ready, and you're going to have to go in and then say, hey, I'm going to go buy this winning token with Solana. Now, what you're going to see some people do, though, is they'll buy that winning token, they'll make some profits, they'll take some of their profits, and some of those people will turn around and then use those profits, if you got a strategy, right, to buy more Sosana tokens. And the reason why is because you know that, and this is just kind of thinking forward, what I would be thinking is, okay, now for the next 2 weeks, people are going to be telling all their friends that aren't a part of Sosana the stories about what happened to them tonight. You know what I mean? Right. So somebody threw in $5,000 and doubled it or something like that, and they're gonna spend the next 2 weeks telling everybody they know, I doubled my money. And the guys, again, in case attorneys on, not making guarantees, just saying, giving an example of a story. And that means that all these people they're telling, they're going to want to come and join so they can participate in the next voting cycle, and they're going to have to join and buy Sosana tokens to participate. So after every vote, I would be looking for a bump in the price of Sosana tokens just from new excited people joining. So if I'm thinking correctly, if I had a couple grand in, you know, and I made some profits, I'm going to take some of those profits and convert them back into Sosana tokens, because now I'm looking to double and triple dip, right? I'm looking to benefit on that, but then I'm also looking to benefit on the back end, because now people are telling all the excited stories. Their friends are going to be joining Sosana so they can participate. That's going to potentially give us the price pressure to drive us up as well. But Cayenne, just to be clear, when you're buying the actual winning token that you want to buy and get ahead of for an hour, you're using Solana to buy that token because it's a token that's on the Solana network. So good question. Any other questions that you guys want to ask in general for Team Lamont or for Keith? I'll give you guys a second, and then I'm going to let these gentlemen take a break. All right, time's up. I guess you guys did such a thorough job. You know, people that Lori Patton said, thanks for some nuggets of wisdom. That's awesome. This is why I don't miss these. They get me fired up. That's awesome, man. Awesome feedback. So guys, listen, I appreciate you being a part of this call with me. And you know, I appreciate you doing this for the community. And I hope we get to do a lot more of this as we're moving forward. I know Keith said he'd like to come on here and do some training whenever you like. That is an open invitation to whenever you like. I think people could really benefit from hearing what you guys are doing in the field, how you're building, how you're developing, and how you're building the success story that you're building. I think that's just going to make the community stronger as a whole. So with that said, guys, thanks everyone. Appreciate you. Be here tomorrow night. Mark's going to be back. He's got some cool stuff for you guys, and we will see you tomorrow night. Have a great night, everyone. Appreciate you. Thanks so much.
Yeah. All right. Good night.
Recording stopped.
All right, guys. That was that. All right, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow, man. 9 a.m. I'll be here trading Forex, guys. We're up. We just made 100 pips from today's trade. Right on NAS. And those will probably close out during the night. So if you're still holding those trades, good on you, man. Good on you, my friends. And I will see you in the morning. Told you, get your victory speeches ready. See you tomorrow, 9 a.m. for New York Open, where we're going to grab some pips. God bless you guys. Have a great night, guys. And I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers, guys.